I tossed another blanket over the couch and stepped back. The candles flickered softly, throwing gold light across the room. The cider simmered on the stove, sweet and spiced, just the way Lena liked it. She'd said she wanted a quiet night in.
Just you, me, and terrible Halloween movies, she texted last week.
I'd smiled at that for days. I looked at my phone. No new messages. 6:47 p.m. She should have been here by now. I dialed her. "Hey, babe," she answered, voice light. "Hey, you on your way?" "Yeah, almost. Just taking a bit longer than I thought. Ryan needed help with something." My stomach tightened a little. "Ryan, since when do you two hang out without me?" She laughed. "It's not like that, Ethan. He just needed help setting up for the parade. He forgot his phone charger or something." "The parade? I thought we were skipping that this year." "We are. Don't worry, I'll be there soon." "All right," I said quietly. "I'll keep the cider warm." "Good. Don't start the movie without me." When the call ended, the room felt too quiet. The laughter in her voice had sounded distracted. Not fake exactly, but distant, like she was half listening. I told myself she was just busy. I grabbed the mugs, poured the cider, and tried to shake it off. "You're overthinking, man," I muttered. "She loves you." The clock ticked past 7. Then 8, I sent a text. "Everything okay?" No reply. By 8:30, the cider was cold. The wax from the candles had dripped into tiny pools. I turned off the lights, hoping darkness would make the waiting easier. My phone buzzed. A text from Lena. "Hey, sorry. Might be a bit late." Things got hectic. I typed back fast. "Do you still want to come? I can reheat the cider." The message marked read, but no response came. I sighed and sat down. On the coffee table, the DVD case for Halloween Town stared back at me. She always joked that it was our dumb comfort movie. "Guess it's just me tonight," I whispered. The air felt heavier now. Outside, I could hear faint music, the parade starting downtown. I tried not to think about it, but curiosity crept in, stubborn and quiet. I opened Instagram. The first story at the top was Ryan's. He was at the parade, holding his phone high. Laughter, lights, people in costumes. The camera turned, and there she was, Lena, standing right beside him, waving at the camera. My breath caught. They looked happy. Too happy. I stared at the screen until the story ended. Then I replayed it, twice. Maybe it meant nothing. Maybe she just ran into him. No, I set the phone down. My hand shook. I called her again. No answer. I called Ryan. Straight to voicemail. The clock read 9:30. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't take a full breath. I stood, pacing the room. "Maybe it's fine," I said to no one. Maybe they're just helping with the parade, but the thought didn't sound real even to me. My phone buzzed again. A message from Lena. "Promise I'll explain later." "Don't be mad, okay?" My fingers hovered over the keyboard. "Mad?" I typed. "You promised we'd spend the night together." The message stayed on delivered. I laughed, but it came out hollow. I blew out the candles one by one. The room plunged into shadow. My reflection in the dark TV screen looked strange, like someone else was staring back. The parade music outside grew louder, like the whole city was laughing while I waited in silence. I sat down again, clutching the cold mug of cider. "Happy Halloween," I muttered. Outside, the night roared with life. Inside, it was just me, and the echo of a promise breaking quietly, one unread message at a time. I don't remember when I stopped checking the clock. The cider was cold, the candles had burned down to wax puddles, and my phone screen was the only light left. "Maybe she got stuck in traffic," I whispered, scrolling through her messages again. "Be a bit late." That was over 3 hours ago I called her. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. "Hey, it's me," I said, voice low. "Just checking if you're okay." "Call me back." The line beeped and I hung up. My reflection in the black TV screen stared back, tired, small, ridiculous. I opened Instagram, telling myself it was just to distract my brain. The first thing that popped up was Ryan's story. Music, laughter, the glow of streetlights. Costumes everywhere. Then the camera spun around and I saw her. Lena. She was standing beside him, holding a paper cup, laughing at something he said. She looked beautiful under the orange lights. She looked happy. My thumb froze on the screen. No, I muttered. That can't be right. I replayed it. Once, twice. I turned up the volume. Her laugh, that same soft, familiar sound, cut through me like glass. Maybe they ran into each other, I told myself. It's a small town. Everyone goes to the parade. I opened Ryan's page. Another post. A group photo. His arm was around her shoulders. Her hand rested on his chest. I dropped the phone onto the couch. My pulse pounded so loud it drowned out the parade noise outside. I picked the phone back up and called Ryan. Voicemail. Ryan, I said, forcing my voice steady. Where are you, man? Lena said she was coming here. You've seen her? I hung up before I could sound desperate. But it was already too late. I texted her again. Are you with Ryan? Delivered. No reply. My throat felt dry. I stood up and walked to the window. From my apartment, I could see faint flashes of orange lights in the distance, the parade winding through the square. I thought about going there, finding her, demanding an answer. But my body wouldn't move. Instead, I sank to the floor. How could you? I whispered to the empty room. I thought of all the little signs. Her phone turned face down during dinner. The way she laughed more at Ryan's jokes lately. The quick glances they shared when they thought I wasn't looking. I'd trusted them both. The night felt like a ghost pressing its hand against my chest, cold and heavy. My phone buzzed, a text from Lena. Please don't be mad. I'll explain everything. Explain what? I typed back. You said you wanted tonight with me. Was that a lie? The message stayed unread. I called again. Her voicemail picked up immediately. I could hear her voice, cheerful and distant. Hey, it's Lena. Leave a message. I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, why him? The walls didn't answer. Outside, fireworks burst above the town square, their reflections flashing across my window. For a second, I saw my own face lit by orange and blue, eyes red, jaw clenched. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe it's innocent, I said out loud. Maybe she'll come by after. But the words sounded hollow, like a lie I'd told too many times. I scrolled through my phone again, staring at their picture. Her smile, his grin, the way their bodies leaned together, like it wasn't the first time, something inside me cracked quietly. The cider on the table had turned to syrup. The couch looked untouched. Everything I'd prepared sat waiting, just like me. The silence felt endless. I picked up my phone one last time and typed, I waited for you, then I deleted it. There was nothing left to say that wouldn't sound pathetic. I leaned my head back against the couch, eyes on the ceiling. My thoughts looped through every memory. Our first date, our first argument, the promises we made. I'd believed her every time she said I was the one she wanted. I wanted to believe it still. But the truth was sitting in the glow of someone else's camera. A small laugh escaped my throat, more a sigh than sound. I should have known, I whispered. And for the first time, the words didn't feel dramatic. They felt like the truth finally catching up to me. The doorbell rang just after 9. I hadn't slept. The cider, the candles, everything from last night still sat exactly where I'd left it, untouched. When I opened the door, Lena stood there holding a coffee cup. Her smile looked normal. Too normal. Hey, she said softly. I brought your favorite, hazelnut. I stared at her. You were supposed to be here last night. I know, she said, stepping inside like nothing was wrong. I got caught up. The parade went longer than I thought. With Ryan? Her hand froze halfway to the counter. Then she laughed, quick, nervous. He was there, yeah. But it's not like that, Ethan. You're reading too much into it. I saw the pictures, I said. My voice cracked. You were with him. You were laughing, she rolled her eyes. It was a coincidence. We just ran into each other.
Do you really think I'd lie to you about something like that?
I didn't answer. I just looked at her, really looked. The faint smudge of glitter near her collarbone. The scent of someone else's cologne clinging to her jacket. Why didn't you answer my calls? I asked quietly. My phone died. Both of them? His too? She frowned. Why are you being like this? It was one night. You're making it a big deal. One night? I repeated. You promised we'd spend it together. I waited. She sighed, placing the coffee on the table. I didn't mean to hurt you. You're being paranoid, I laughed, sharp and bitter. Paranoid. That's what people say when they're lying. Stop it, she snapped. You're twisting everything. Ryan's your best friend. You think he'd ever do something like that? Yes, I said. I think he already did. Her lips parted like she wanted to argue, but no words came out. Her eyes flickered, just for a second, when I said his name. That tiny tremor told me more than any confession could. I stepped back, my pulse pounding in my ears.
You didn't even plan to come, did you?
You texted me because you felt guilty. That's not true, she said quickly. I was just tired. I didn't want to fight. Then tell me the truth, I said. Were you with him last night? She met my eyes, then looked away.
You're making something out of nothing. I felt something snap inside me. Not anger, not even grief.
Just a dull, quiet certainty. I used to believe everything you said, I whispered, even when it didn't make sense. You'd laugh and I'd forget why I was upset. You always knew how to make me doubt myself. Her expression softened.
Ethan, please.
Don't do this. You're tired. You've been overthinking. Stop. I shook my head. I'm done pretending I don't see it. The silence stretched between us. Outside, the wind rattled the windows. Finally, she grabbed her purse. You know what? Call me when you calm down. I didn't stop her when she walked out. The door clicked shut, and the sound echoed like a final nail sealing something I didn't want to admit. I sank onto the couch, staring at the spot she just stood in. The air still smelled like her perfume, soft and fake. My chest hurt. Not the kind of pain you can point to, but the kind that burrows deep, twisting under every breath. I thought about all the times Ryan had sat right there on that couch, laughing with me, telling stories, drinking my beer. The night we helped him move apartments. The time Lena surprised us both with pizza. Every memory blurred now, tainted and ugly. How long had it been happening behind my back? My phone buzzed on the table, a text. From Sophie. You deserve to know the truth. I frowned and typed back, what truth? 3 dots appeared. Then her reply came. They've been together for months. I thought you already knew. I stared at the screen, waiting for the words to make sense. But they didn't. My hands went cold. My heart felt like it missed a beat, then another, months. I dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a soft thud. All the little signs, all the jokes Ryan made that I didn't catch. All the times Lena brushed off my questions, they came crashing together, forming a picture I didn't want to see. I leaned forward, pressing my palms against my eyes, trying to block it out, but her laugh from the parade replayed in my head again and again. I whispered into the empty room. It was never a coincidence, was it? No one answered. Only silence, the kind that knows exactly what you've lost. The days after felt like one long night. I stopped checking the time. The clock ticked somewhere behind me, but I didn't care. The blinds stayed closed. The plates piled up. The world outside moved on, but I stayed here, in the silence. My phone buzzed again. Mom. I let it ring. Then her voice filled the room through voicemail. Ethan, sweetheart, I know you're hurting. Just eat something, okay? Please call me back. I couldn't. What would I say? Hey, Mom, remember Lena and Ryan? They didn't just leave me. They hollowed me out. I picked up my phone anyway. 1 missed call from Mom, 4 from Mara, 2 from Professor Hayes. Mara's messages blinked on the screen. You didn't come in today. Then another. Talk to me, please. And then, I know something happened. Don't shut me out, I typed, I'm fine. Then deleted it. The couch had become my world, my island of quiet. The TV played static. My reflection in the dark glass looked like someone I didn't know. I didn't eat. I didn't shower. I didn't sleep. When I closed my eyes, I saw them again. The parade lights flashing across her face, her smile turned toward him, the laughter. That damn laughter, sometimes I spoke to the ceiling. Was I really that easy to fool? Silence answered, always polite. The doorbell rang once. I ignored it. Then a voice called through. Ethan, it's Mara. I froze. I brought food, she said. I'll just leave it here, okay? Footsteps faded. Then the door clicked softly. I waited 5 minutes before opening it. A takeout bag sat there with a note on top. You don't have to talk. Just eat. I stared at it, then shut the door again. The smell hit me. Warm soup, bread, something comforting. and I felt my throat tighten. I wanted to throw it away. Instead, I sat down and ate in silence, tears mixing with every spoonful. The next morning, Professor Hayes called. I let it go to voicemail. Ethan, I've seen brilliant students fall apart over heartbreak. Don't let that be you. Come to class. Just once. I turned the phone face down. I didn't want wisdom. I wanted silence. I wanted to stop feeling like my chest was full of broken glass. Every night I replayed Halloween. The cider. The candles. The text that said, "Be a bit late." I'd built an entire evening for her, and she'd spent it with him. The scene never changed, but I kept reliving it like I could fix it if I watched close enough. I remembered Ryan's grin, the one I used to trust. "You're lucky, man," he'd once said. "Lena's special." Yeah, special enough to ruin me. By the 5th day, my apartment smelled stale. My body felt heavy, like I'd been wearing grief as armor. I didn't even know what day it was anymore. Another call came. Mom again. I let it ring, but this time her message broke something inside me. "Ethan, your father used to shut down like this too. Don't disappear, honey. Pain doesn't shrink if you hide from it." I pressed the phone to my chest. My heartbeat felt weak but alive. Later that night, I sat by the window. Outside, a light drizzle painted the glass silver. For the first time, I wanted to breathe air that didn't smell like regret. I cracked the window open. Cold air rushed in, biting my skin. I whispered into it, "Why them? Why together?" No one answered. The city hummed in the distance. I thought about calling Ryan, about screaming, about asking why. But what would he say? That it just happened? That she made him feel alive? No answer would change what I'd seen. The phone buzzed again. "Mara, you don't have to talk. Just come for coffee tomorrow. I'll be there even if you don't say a word." I typed, "Maybe," then hit send. It was the first message I'd sent all week. Afterward, I looked around the apartment. The cold mugs, the burned-out candles, the untouched blankets still folded on the couch. The place looked like a graveyard for what I used to believe in. I walked to the bathroom mirror. My eyes were bloodshot, my jaw unshaven. I looked like someone half alive. "I hate this version of me," I said quietly. The reflection didn't argue. That night, I didn't sleep, but I didn't cry either. I just sat by the window until the sky turned gray, feeling the shift inside me, small but real. The pain was still there, sharp and familiar, but something else began to grow beside it. A kind of defiance. If love could be broken so easily, then maybe I'd been worshipping the wrong thing. Maybe I needed something stronger. I stood up, ran a hand through my hair, and whispered into the empty room, "If love is gone, let pride be my fuel." The words felt heavy, but steady, and for the first time in days, I believed myself. The mirror didn't scare me anymore. I'd cut my hair short that morning, uneven at first, but cleaner than before. My face looked sharper, like it belonged to someone trying again. At work, I drowned myself in hours. Projects, reports, anything that kept my hands busy and my thoughts quieter. "Ethan," Mara called, leaning on the doorframe. "You've been here since 8. You planning to move in?" I smiled faintly. "Rent's cheaper here." She walked closer, setting down a coffee. "You're different lately. In a good way, I think. But are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You always say that," she said softly. "You don't talk anymore. What's there to talk about?" "I don't know." "Maybe why you look like you're trying to outrun something invisible." I laughed under my breath. "Maybe I am," she tilted her head. "You don't have to tell me, but whatever happened, it's not the end of your story, okay?" Her words lingered long after she left. That night, I stayed late again, typing until the office was dark. My phone buzzed and a text from Mom. "Proud of you. Heard from Mara that you're back at work." I smiled. "Trying my best," I replied. When I left the building, the air was cold but fresh. I hadn't felt that in months. The next day, I signed up for the company's fall project. Something big, something that scared me. The old me would have overthought it. The new me just said yes. Mara found out and cornered me by the break room. "You? Volunteering for extra work? Who are you and what did you do with Ethan?" "Maybe I got tired of feeling sorry for myself," I said. She grinned. "That's progress. I like this version of you." I wanted to tell her everything. About Lena, about Ryan, about how my trust had been turned into a weapon. But I didn't. The words sat behind my teeth like broken glass. Instead, I said, I'm just done wasting time. Days passed. Work filled the silence that used to hurt. Mara started stopping by my desk every morning with coffee. Sometimes she joked, sometimes she didn't. Her laugh softened the edges of the world I'd built back up around me. Then one evening, as I left the office, someone called out, Ethan Cole? I turned. Caleb Brooks, Ryan's cousin. We hadn't spoken in years. Hey, I said carefully. Didn't expect to see you. Yeah, I was visiting family, he said, rubbing the back of his neck. You got a minute? I nodded, though my stomach tightened. He hesitated. I shouldn't say this, but Ryan's a mess. Like, completely falling apart. I kept my face still. Oh? He's drinking again. Lost a deal at work. Lena, well, I heard they've been fighting nonstop. Thought you should know. Why? Because you didn't deserve what they did, he said quietly. Ryan knows it too. He talks about it when he's drunk. Says he ruined the only real friendship he ever had. I didn't know what to say. Caleb sighed. He's my cousin, but honestly, man, karma's doing its job. Yeah, I said. Guess it is. He looked at me carefully. You're not going to go after him, right? No, I said. I don't need to. Caleb nodded slowly. Good. You're handling this better than most would. When he left, I stood on the sidewalk for a long time. The old me would have felt rage, maybe even satisfaction. Now I just felt tired. Mara called that night. You sound quiet. Long day? Just ran into someone from my past, I said. Good kind or bad kind? Both, I think. Want to talk about it? I hesitated, then said, not yet. But someday, she didn't push. All right. Just remember, you're allowed to live again, you know. You don't have to keep punishing yourself. After the call, I sat by the window, watching the city lights blink like they were breathing. Somewhere out there, Lena and Ryan were probably fighting, breaking each other piece by piece, and for the first time, I didn't want to be part of it. The hate had burned out. In its place was something quieter, pride, maybe peace. I whispered into the glass, You two can destroy each other if you want. I'm done being collateral. The reflection that looked back at me wasn't the broken man from before. It was someone rebuilding piece by piece, and for once I didn't need anyone else to see it to believe it. Her text came out of nowhere. Please, Ethan, just one talk. I need to see you. I stared at the screen for a long time. Part of me wanted to delete it. Another part wanted to know why she still had the nerve. After 10 minutes, I replied, 1 hour. Public place. The next evening, I waited at the cafe across from the park. My reflection in the window looked calm, but my pulse betrayed me. When she walked in, my breath caught, not from longing, but from memory. She looked tired, hair unbrushed, makeup smudged. Hey, she said quietly, sitting down. Hi, I said. You wanted to talk. She wrapped her hands around the coffee cup but didn't drink. I don't know where to start. Try the truth, I said. Her eyes filled instantly. Ryan's gone. Gone? He left, she said, voice shaking. Packed his things 2 weeks ago. He said it wasn't working, that he couldn't handle the guilt anymore. I nodded slowly. So Karma finally returned his calls. She flinched. I deserve that. I leaned back. You do. She stared at me for a long time. I didn't come here for pity. I came because I ruined everything, and you were the only person who ever really cared about me. Didn't seem that way when you were with him. Tears slid down her face. I was stupid. I thought I wanted excitement. I thought what we had was too safe. I didn't realize safety is what love really is. I didn't answer. I just watched her crumble. She whispered, He made me feel seen, but it was fake. Everything fell apart so fast. He started drinking, blaming me for everything. I kept thinking about you. How patient you were, how gentle. Don't rewrite the story now, I said quietly. You knew what you were doing. I know, she said. I wake up every day hating myself for it. Good, I said, and the word surprised even me. Not cruel, just honest, she wiped her eyes. You're colder than I remember. Maybe I just stopped bleeding. I didn't expect you to forgive me, she said, voice trembling. But I needed to tell you I'm sorry. You didn't deserve what I did. The cafe noise filled the space between us. Soft chatter, spoons clinking, life moving forward while hours sat stuck. I said, "When you left that night, I thought I'd die from it. But I didn't. I rebuilt myself without you." "I can see that," she whispered. "You look different, stronger." "I had to be," I said. "You and Ryan burned everything I trusted. But it's fine. Ashes make good soil," she gave a weak smile. "Still poetic, huh?" "Just realistic," I said. Her hands shook around the cup. "Do you ever miss me?" I looked at her, the woman who once felt like my whole world. "I searched for love and found only memory. Sometimes I miss the version of you that loved me," I said. "But she doesn't exist anymore," she covered her face. "I lost everything. My friends, my job, him. I thought maybe if I talked to you, I could feel something real again." "You will," I said softly. "Just not from me," she lowered her hands, red-eyed. "You really hate me, don't you?" I shook my head. "No, I hate what you did. But hate fades faster than you'd think." She blinked. "So what now?" "Now?" I said. "You go live with the choices you made. And I keep living with the lessons you gave me." Her lips trembled. "Is there any chance we could—" "No," I said before she could finish. The word hung heavy between us. She nodded, defeated. I figured. I finished my coffee, stood up, and reached for my coat. "I forgive you," I said quietly. "But I don't want you back." Her breath hitched. "You mean that?" "I do." I could hear the tremor in my own voice, but my heart felt strangely light, like something that had been chained finally let go. She stood too, eyes glistening. "You were the best thing that ever happened to me." "I know," I said. "That's what makes it sad." We walked outside together. The sky was gray, rain threatening but not yet falling. She lingered by the curb, looking lost. "Take care of yourself, Lena," I said. "Goodbye, Ethan." "Goodbye." I turned and walked away before she could see me look back. My chest ached, but it wasn't the old pain. It was the kind that comes when something ends properly, not ripped away, but released. The wind caught my hair, cold and clean. For the first time since that Halloween night, I didn't feel haunted, just free. Her text came out of nowhere. "Please, Ethan, just one talk. I need to see you." I stared at the screen for a long time. Part of me wanted to delete it. Another part wanted to know why she still had the nerve. After 10 minutes, I replied, "1 hour, public place." The next evening, I waited at the cafe across from the park. My reflection in the window looked calm, but my pulse betrayed me. When she walked in, my breath caught, not from longing, but from memory. She looked tired, hair unbrushed, makeup smudged. "Hey," she said quietly, sitting down. "Hi," I said. "You wanted to talk." She wrapped her hands around the coffee cup, but didn't drink. "I don't know where to start." "Try the truth," I said. Her eyes filled instantly. "Ryan's gone." "Gone?" "He left," she said, voice shaking. "Packed his things 2 weeks ago. He said it wasn't working, that he couldn't handle the guilt anymore." I nodded slowly. "So karma finally returned his calls." She flinched. "I deserve that." I leaned back. "You do." She stared at me for a long time. "I didn't come here for pity. I came because I ruined everything, and you were the only person who ever really cared about me. Didn't seem that way when you were with him." Tears slid down her face. "I was stupid. I thought I wanted excitement. I thought what we had was too safe. I didn't realize safety is what love really is." I didn't answer. I just watched her crumble. She whispered, "He made me feel seen, but it was fake." Everything fell apart so fast. He started drinking, blaming me for everything. I kept thinking about you, how patient you were, how gentle. "Don't rewrite the story now," I said quietly. "You knew what you were doing." "I know," she said. "I wake up every day hating myself for it." "Good," I said, and the word surprised even me. Not cruel, just honest. She wiped her eyes. "You're colder than I remember." Maybe I just stopped bleeding. "I didn't expect you to forgive me," she said, voice trembling. "But I needed to tell you I'm sorry. You didn't deserve what I did." The cafe noise filled the space between us. Soft chatter, spoons clinking, life moving forward while ours sat stuck. I said, "When you left that night, I thought I'd die from it. But I didn't. I rebuilt myself without you." "I can see that," she whispered. "You look different. Stronger." "I had to be," I said. "You and Ryan burned everything I trusted. But it's fine. Ashes make good soil." She gave a weak smile. "Still poetic, huh?" "Just realistic," I said. Her hands shook around the cup. "Do you ever miss me?" I looked at her, the woman who once felt like my whole world. I searched for love and found only memory. "Sometimes I miss the version of you that loved me," I said. "But she doesn't exist anymore." She covered her face. "I lost everything. My friends, my job, him. I thought maybe if I talked to you, I could feel something real again." "You will," I said softly. "Just not from me." She lowered her hands, red-eyed. "You really hate me, don't you?" I shook my head. "No. I hate what you did. But hate fades faster than you'd think." She blinked. "So what now?" "Now," I said, "you go live with the choices you made, and I keep living with the lessons you gave me." Her lips trembled. "Is there any chance we could—" "No," I said before she could finish. The word hung heavy between us. She nodded, defeated. I figured. I finished my coffee, stood up, and reached for my coat. "I forgive you," I said quietly. "But I don't want you back," her breath hitched. "You mean that?" "I do." I could hear the tremor in my own voice, but my heart felt strangely light, like something that had been chained finally let go. She stood too, eyes glistening. "You were the best thing that ever happened to me." "I know," I said. "That's what makes it sad." We walked outside together. The sky was gray, rain threatening but not yet falling. She lingered by the curb, looking lost. "Take care of yourself, Lena," I said. "Goodbye, Ethan." "Goodbye." I turned and walked away before she could see me look back. My chest ached, but it wasn't the old pain. It was the kind that comes when something ends properly, not ripped away, but released. The wind caught my hair, cold and clean. For the first time since that Halloween night, I didn't feel haunted, just free. The cold hit different this year, not sharp, not bitter, just honest. I walked down the same street where it all started, my hands in my coat pockets, watching orange lights ripple through the night. Halloween again. The air smelled like cinnamon and wood smoke. Laughter spilled from the crowd gathering for the parade. For once, it didn't sound like mockery. It just sounded alive. A kid in a vampire cape bumped into me. "Sorry, mister," I smiled. "You're good. Go get your candy." He ran off, cape fluttering behind him. I watched him disappear into the lights, then kept walking. My phone buzzed. A message from Mara. "Found you. Don't move." I turned around. She was weaving through the crowd, 2 steaming cups in her hands. Her scarf was crooked, her smile easy. "Told you I'd find you," she said, handing me one. "Hot cider, extra cinnamon." "You remembered." "I remember everything you say when you're half asleep at your desk," she teased. I laughed, really laughed, and took a sip. "You know, a year ago I couldn't even look at this parade without feeling sick," she tilted her head. "And now? Now it just feels like another night." "A good one," she smiled softly. "That's called healing." "Is that what this is?" "Pretty sure." She nudged me with her shoulder. "You did the hard part. You chose to move forward." I looked around, at the lights, the music, the faces painted in joy. "I used to think pain was something you survived. Now I think it's something that changes you." Mara nodded. "It can rot you or rebuild you. Depends which one you let win." "I let it rebuild me," I said quietly. "Or at least I'm trying to." "You're doing better than trying." She grinned. You're here, you're smiling, and you didn't flinch when a marching band walked by. That's progress. True, I said, laughing again. Last year, I probably would have hidden in my apartment. You did, she said. You told me later. Right, I said, shaking my head. I almost forgot. You don't have to forget, she said softly. Just don't live there anymore. Her words lingered. I looked up at the sky, black velvet dotted with faint stars. The parade lights danced against the buildings. Music rolled down the street, loud and bright. For a moment, I saw flashes of the past. Lena's laugh, Ryan's grin, the betrayal that once gutted me. But it didn't sting this time. It just existed. Mara caught me drifting and asked, "You okay?" "Yeah," I said, just remembering the old me, the one who thought love was supposed to hurt. She frowned. "He's still part of you, though." "Maybe," I said, "but I don't miss him." We walked along the parade route, our steps falling into rhythm with the drums echoing through the street. Children waved glow sticks, couples danced, the world kept spinning. "Crazy, isn't it?" Mara said. "1 year changes everything." "Yeah," I said, sipping the cider. A year ago, I was sitting in that apartment, waiting for someone who'd already chosen someone else. And now? Now I'm here, I said, with someone who showed up. She blushed. "I didn't do much." "You did enough," I said. "You stayed." We stopped near the same corner where I'd watched the parade last year through my window. I could almost see the ghost of myself standing there, angry and heartbroken, watching Lena and Ryan through the crowd. "Heard they both left town," Mara said quietly. "Ryan's company let him go. Lena's working somewhere up north." "I know," I said. "Sophie told me." "You ever think about reaching out?" "No," I said. "Some chapters end so you can stop rereading them." She smiled. "You've gotten wise." "I've gotten tired," I said, grinning. "Wisdom's just exhaustion with better vocabulary." She laughed, bumping my arm. "You sound like Hayes." "God, don't curse me," I said. "One philosopher in my life is enough." We stood there for a while, watching the parade flow by. Glittering costumes, paper lanterns, kids shouting, the band thundering joy into the night. It didn't hurt anymore. The ache was still there, somewhere deep, but it felt like a scar, proof that I'd lived through it. Mara turned toward me. "You ever wonder what would have happened if none of it broke you?" "Yeah," I said. "But if it hadn't, I wouldn't be standing here with you." She smiled softly. "Then I guess I owe them thanks." "Don't," I said. "They took enough already." We fell quiet again. The music swelled, the lights grew brighter, and I could almost feel the heartbeat of the city matching my own. I whispered, mostly to myself. "Last year I watched them march in that parade while I drowned in silence." Mara looked at me curious. "And this year?" I smiled, the cider warm in my hands. "This year, I walked beside someone who stayed when no one else did." She squeezed my arm gently. "Then let's keep walking." We did. The crowd swallowed, us in laughter and color, and for once I didn't feel lost inside it. I felt alive. The parade kept moving forward, and so did I.